In the 1995-1996 NBA season, Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls won an at the time regular season record 72 games. They went on to eventually win the 1996 NBA Finals against the Seattle Supersonics in 6 games and were considered the greatest NBA team in history. Michael Jordan went on to win the 1996 Finals MVP, which was an amazing moment considering that he had lost his father 3 years earlier.
This is for Daddy. I'm very happy for you.
But what if I were to tell you that it was his teammate Dennis Rodman that should have won the Finals MVP? Now why is that? You will find out after a word from our sponsor SeatGeek. SeatGeek is a mobile ticketing app for sporting events, concerts, and other events. They make the buying experience easier by the app ranking each ticket from 0 to 10 to see if you are getting a good deal, and you can see exactly where you are sitting. I regularly use that app, and I have had nothing but a fantastic experience with SeatGeek. Use my promo code ROOFTOPSPORTS to get $20 off of your first purchase. Link to the code, app, and website will be in the description, so take advantage, and thank you. Now before we get into the reasons why I think Dennis Rodman should have been the MVP of the 1996 NBA Finals, let's go over some stuff that may have not been remembered between the Seattle Supersonics and the Chicago Bulls. In terms of offensive production, the Sonics actually outplayed the Bulls in efficiency by beating them in every offensive category. With the lackluster offensive production the Bulls had, 1996 was their worst offensive performance out of their 6 finals appearances. To go further, Michael Jordan suffered terrible offensive numbers by scoring 27.3 points per game in the finals, which was his only finals performance of averaging less than 30 points per game. Not only that, his field goal percentage was the second worst out of all finals MVPs. Even Jordan's teammates Scottie Pippen, Steve Kerr, and Tony Kukoc struggled offensively in the finals as well. Much of these offensive struggles by the Chicago Bulls can be credited to the fantastic defense of the Seattle Supersonics, led by Gary Payton and Hersey Hawkins. With these awful performances, how did the Chicago Bulls still manage to win the NBA Finals against the Seattle Supersonics? Well, here I am to explain, and I will explain further once you subscribe and like this video. In Game 1 of the NBA Finals, the Sonics and the Bulls had a standstill going into the middle of the second quarter.
And Kemp fires from deep.
Things to notice, Michael Jordan did not score until later in the first quarter, as he did struggle to find the basket thanks to Seattle's solid defense on Jordan and Pippen. Jordan also failed to score 30 points where he had a 9-game streak doing so in the finals. Surprisingly, Bulls center Luke Longley was their most efficient scorer. At one point in the second quarter, the Bulls missed 12 of 15 shots, which caused a 19-6 run by the Sonics.
The poor shooting continues by Chicago. Perkins with the good look and hits again.
However, Dennis Rodman was the difference maker in the quarter. He drew an offensive foul that put Sonics' third leading scorer Detlef Schrempf on foul trouble, where it was his third foul of the game. What was more impactful than that, Dennis Rodman drew a flagrant 2 foul on Sonics' Frank Brickowski, which Sonics coach George Karl claimed that Rodman flopped.
That elbow that Frank Brickowski was a flop.
Nonetheless, the foul gave the Bulls 2 shots and possession. The foul frustrated Brickowski, and he had some words with Rodman. Referee Joey Crawford charged Brickowski with a technical foul immediately, ejecting him from the game. This sequence by Rodman led to the Bulls scoring 5 free throws. They rode this momentum going into the third quarter, where they were up by 11, but the Sonics made a comeback to close the lead within 4 going into the fourth quarter.
The game is tied at 75.
In the fourth quarter, Tony Kukoc stepped up and sparked the offense, and Dennis Rodman got Shawn Kemp to foul out of the game due to Rodman provoking Kemp to push Rodman out of frustration. The departure of Shawn Kemp broke the momentum of the game for the Sonics, and the Bulls would win by 17. Rodman was a key factor of Game 1 with his 13 rebounds and his ability to draw key fouls, which caused Frank Brickowski to be ejected and Shawn Kemp to foul out, as he was the best player on the Sonics in Game 1. In Game 2 of the NBA Finals, the first half between the Sonics and the Bulls was a standstill once again.
Payton with the steal and puts it down.
Although Michael Jordan scored 16 first-half points, the Sonics were able to at least control the rebounds from Dennis Rodman thanks to a surprising performance from Sonics center Irvin Johnson, who collected 7 rebounds in 8 minutes of play, but unfortunately, he got into heavy foul trouble early, limiting his availability for the rest of the game. Also, Hersey Hawkins and Sam Perkins played well in the first half, keeping the Sonics in the game. And Shawn Kemp put up this amazing dunk on Scottie Pippen.
Play through it.
In the second half, This is where Dennis Rodman made the most impact of the game by his impressive ability to rebound, where he ended up with 20 total rebounds and 11 offensive rebounds, which tied an NBA Finals record, which is also held by Elvin Hayes. His contributions helped the Bulls outscore the Sonics 30-20, including a 10-1 run sparked by Tony Kukoc. However, in the fourth quarter, the Sonics cut the lead from 11 down to 3 with less than a minute to play. The Bulls were at the free throw line, where Scottie Pippen missed both free throws, but Rodman got the rebound and caused the jump ball. He won the jump ball and then made a clutch free throw to put the game away to secure a Game 2 victory, going into Seattle.
In the fourth.
In Game 3 in Seattle, the Sonics were expected to take advantage of their home court. However, the Bulls got off to a hot start, including Michael Jordan dominating the first half with 27 points and finished the game with 36. However, in the third quarter, Sonics defense cut that lead to as low as 12 before the end of the third quarter. There was hope for the Sonics to complete the comeback, but in the fourth quarter, the Bulls would respond and win the game by 22, and Dennis Rodman got Frank Brickowski thrown out once again by drawing a flagrant 2 foul. The Bulls were just one win away from their 4th NBA championship. With the Bulls 3 up in the series, it seemed that it was a formality that the Bulls were going to sweep the Sonics in the NBA Finals.
It's a foregone conclusion.
However, that wouldn't be the case, as the Sonics would dominate the Bulls and win 107-86, with the Sonics defense limiting Michael Jordan to a 6 of 19 shooting. The most notable highlight of the game was this moment.
Bulls in the midst of their second run.
Game 5 was much more competitive, as the Sonics and Bulls were in very tight margins for 3 quarters of the game, with Michael Jordan carrying the team with 24 points going into the fourth quarter. But Sonics defense in the fourth quarter neutralized the Bulls, and Jordan only scored 2 points in the fourth quarter, and the Sonics would close the gap at 3-2 going into Chicago for Game 6. In Game 6 of the NBA Finals, Michael Jordan struggled, scoring just 5 of 19, but the Bulls were able to maintain their lead over the Sonics thanks to Dennis Rodman's rebounding, defense, and the ability to draw fouls on key Sonics players. At the start of the third quarter, the Sonics were within 5, but Dennis Rodman once again, with his rebounding and defense, sparked the Bulls on a 16-4 run, which put the game out of reach for the Sonics for the rest of the game.
And here's Pippen leading the 3-on-2 as they spread the floor. Pippen for Rodman on the right.
Ultimately, the Bulls won their 4th championship, and Michael Jordan won the NBA Finals MVP. As I explained throughout this video, you can see the evidence that Dennis Rodman should have won the 1996 Finals MVP because of his defense, rebounding, and the ability to draw fouls that put key Sonics players in constant foul troubles. Without Rodman's contributions on top of the Bulls struggling offensively, the Sonics could have won the NBA Finals, making it one of the biggest upsets in the history of sports, but Rodman prevented that. But those are my thoughts on Dennis Rodman in the 1996 NBA Finals. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on whether Rodman should have been the MVP, and thanks for watching.